Good. All right, cool. For those of us again who watch football, so let's say you're on the field right now. You're the running back lined up right next to the quarterback. Quarterback notices something funky in the defensive lineup. Tells you, okay, screw it, you're not going to go out for a pass. You're going to block said linebacker. Play starts. Linebacker comes. He's blitzing. He's blocking. Quarterback tosses it up. 30-yard touchdown pass. Let's say. You just that was you. Sorry. You just witnessed a little play from Tom Brady. He had the smart, he was smart enough to analyze the defense and to actually, make adjustments in his offense to adjust to a defense that is about to blitz. Today I'm gonna convince you that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm not saying that he has the best arm of all time, but he's the smartest quarterback of all time. And I will say that very structure will be that why he fits the quarterback position so well. Then I'll talk about his stats and why they're some of the greatest stats in the history of the game. And then obviously we'll talk about a Super Bowl. So directly from Merriam-Webster, quarterback is an offensive back in football who usually lines up behind center, calls signals, and directs the offensive play of the team. So Tom Brady, he doesn't have the greatest arm of all time. He has a decent arm, but greatest arm, let's give it to Aaron Rodgers. But as far as being the smartest QB, that hands down Tom Brady. Anytime he notices a little bit of something odd or something off in the defense that he's lined up against, he'll make those adjustments just to better suit himself to make those plays, make those great plays, if you will. He's always make those plays. He's always making those adjustments. Again, that's kind of what he's known for. He's you could say he's always he's kind of like a West Coast quarterback. He's always dumbing it down to his running back or making short passes. But every now and then you'll see a bomb. Just last week or this week, you've seen a bomb over to Josh Gordon, or sorry. No, let's go back 2 weeks to Rob Gronkowski, who hasn't been in the end zone at all. Already 41 years old, throwing a 40-yard bomb to Rob Gronkowski. I mean, made it look pretty easy, but I mean that's just what he does. Second, we'll talk about stats. So we'll just talk about Peyton Manning real quick. He's just because he's known for his passing yards, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But his career was, I believe, 18 seasons. He has, NFL, according to his stats on NFL.com, he has close to 72,000 passing yards. Tom Brady, it's his 19th season, but if you completely disregard 2007 when he had that big injury and his ACL is up for the season, he's been starting for 18 seasons, if you will. Tom Brady has just over 69,000 yards, and he does say he wants to play for at least 5 or 6 more seasons. I don't know if he'll do it, but with that being said, he will eventually pass that 72,000 yard mark, and he'll hopefully easily pass Peyton Manning's passing touchdown record as well. And not to say Tom Brady just hit 1,000 rushing yards this weekend, which is over 18 seasons, pretty great for a quarterback who's not known for his legs at all. And last of all, we'll talk about Super Bowl 51 against against the Falcons. Down 28-3 at halftime. You're going against Matt Ryan, MVP that season, and quarterback, he's on fire. Defense is on fire. Offense is on fire. You're down 28-3 at the half again. You need a leader, a quarterback. What a quarterback's supposed to do. That leader, that someone who has that knowledge and that poise to get that victory. Me watching the game, I was like, at halftime, me and my sister's boyfriend, we were just sitting down on the couch. We're at my cousin's party, and we were just like so bummed out. We were just like, all right, what the hell? You know, we have our, we have our jerseys on, and everyone's just kind of like looking at us like, oh, these guys, they showed up, like bandwagons, all this and that, and we just stayed quiet the whole time. Third quarter passes, decent quarter. Tom Brady, fourth quarter turned up, end of third quarter and fourth quarter turned up. Tied the game, went into overtime. They got the ball. He just needed that one drive to finish the game off. He had that killer look in his eye. He just wasn't stopping. Nothing was stopping this guy. And sure enough, completed the greatest comeback in the history of football just because it was in the biggest game in football. Finished the game 466 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Not too shabby. And that being said, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time because he's so close to passing, to holding the record for, passing yards and touchdowns. And he's the smartest quarterback in the history of the game. And he also had the greatest comeback in the history of the game. Thank you.
The zone height.
I like your speech, bro.
Huh?
I like your speech. He's better than Patrick Mahomes.
Well, let's find out what Daisy thought of this speech.
I thought it was pretty good. I liked how in the beginning, he was going to say he's the greatest quarterback, then he said, he corrected himself and said he's the smartest. So I think it's better that way. It's not too broad. I think that it was pretty organized. He talked about the 3 things. He mentioned 3 things he was going to talk about from the very beginning. The only thing I would say is the phone. Maybe it's kind of a distraction. But it was kind of a long phrase that he had memorized. So maybe if you would have written it down maybe and just left it on the side, he could have just kind of glanced over. But other than that, I think he did pretty good.
The visualization of the play at the beginning is fine, and I think you've got a pretty good, surprise there as a way of getting our attention. That's fine. Your goal is to make a value argument, and I'm not sure that there's a lot of controversy on that issue. It's similar to some of the things that we've talked about before, but you did a good job identifying what your purpose was, and there was an excellent preview of what the supporting structure was going to be. I think you needed to signpost those things a little bit more in the body of the speech, but I could see that you were following that structure. And I think the idea of defining the smartest quarterback, well, let's talk about those adjustments, what things that he does that other people don't do, how consistent he's been over time. There are other ways to maybe measure that, especially when you talk about the changes in the cast around him, how that might demonstrate that it's really his smarts that are a big part of the success of his team. I think there's a little bit more that you could be saying about his particular smarts. You kind of have an enthusiastic description of what you see as being the defining characteristics there, but I think that you need a little bit more information on those points. When you get to the second point on the statistics, I think you want to make the argument that says, look, how do we measure greatness? We measure it based on performance compared to others. And currently the I don't know, the bar is set here at 72,000 yards by Peyton Manning, at X number of touchdowns by Peyton Manning, at this number of Super Bowls by this person, so on and so forth, whatever it happens to be. And the bar is set on greatness by those particular standards. And here's where Tom Brady fits in relationship to those. He's going to eclipse all of these numbers. He's accomplished some of these things. He's the one who holds those records in those particular categories. So in essence, here's our criteria for what makes somebody the greatest when it comes to statistics, and here's how Tom Brady meets that criteria. You're kind of saying that. You just need to say it more explicitly and make it sound like it's an argument as opposed to just your enthusiastic endorsement that's going on there. And that, not to say that I don't appreciate the enthusiastic endorsement, because when you tell the story of you and your brother watching the Super Bowl, or your friend watching the Super Bowl wearing your Patriots jerseys, and you're down by 25 points at halftime, and you're feeling kind of in the dumps, that would be one of those places where, well, yeah, it doesn't look too good for me, but you know what? I didn't give up because I know that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. And how does he demonstrate that? By overcoming that. What does he do? He goes on fire in the fourth quarter. He shows his drive and determination in that overtime thing, and game over, boom, legend born. There we go. That kind of stuff. I think that's when you need that enthusiasm when you're telling the story. And the other places you need to build the argument. I thought it was solid. You could be maybe a little bit more polished in a few places, but the idea is okay. Like I said, it's again, you're telling us something I don't think that there's a whole bunch of controversy on, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are people out there who still think Johnny Unitas is the greatest football quarterback of all time.